What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about why dealerships can't sell new cars. Now, there's a number of reasons. We're going to talk about financing, how everything is overpriced, and how some of the dealers are just a bunch of ass clowns. So we're going to cover all that and a whole lot more. But before I do, if you do me a huge favor and gently squeeze the like button for YouTube algorithm, it helps me find more amazing people like yourselves that enjoy automotive content. Also, please consider subscribing. We do post 2 times a week, and make sure you click the notification bell. And once again, follow us on Instagram at Lucky Lopez. Let's get in the video. So I try to get as much information from all my sources. I like to talk to dealers that are franchised and independents all across the United States, as well as salesmen because they are the true boots on the ground when it comes to the automotive market. I talk to bankers, vendors, auction houses to see what's moving, what's not. I also talk to different vendors to see what they're actually pushing out. And this kind of gives me a general information of what's going on in the automotive industry. So this way I can come on YouTube and paint you guys a beautiful picture of this shit show we call the automotive market. So today we have a really fun video because a lot of this stuff is just absolutely insane. I'm not even sure why it's even still going on, but we're going to cover it today. So one of the first things we're going to talk about are cars that are still selling over MSRP. Now, as you guys know, during the pandemic, people were so freaking out, like, I got to get this car, I got to get a new car, and there was limited supply. They were able to go way over MSRP, not only on exotic and classic cars and muscle cars and sports cars and luxury cars, they were doing it on economy cars. We talked about how people were paying 40 grand over for a Toyota RAV4. Some people were paying $50,000 over MSRP for a Kia, Telluride, and a Hyundai Palisade. Just absolutely insane. But today, as we basically approach the market, we know the economy is going down. Banking is getting harder to get funding for some of these deals, but we see dealers still today charging way over MSRP for some of these actual vehicles. Now, today I want to talk about the Corvette C8. Now, I love this car. It's a beautiful car. I mean, best bang for your buck, possibly, for sports cars. But it's been so overhyped and so ridiculous. I've seen people walk away from the allocations now because before there were so many people that were just buying all these Corvettes and then every year trading up to a new one and finding somebody else that was dumb enough to buy their old one. Well, now I've talked to multiple Chevy dealers across the United States, and you can almost go to just about any Chevy dealer and find a base or a convertible, a C8 Corvette. Now, I remember when these things were going for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 over MSRP, and people were losing their minds. But today, you can literally walk in and find these things almost at every single dealership. I see tons of them on Craigslist. Still today, I'll put some pictures up here. Over $100,000 for a used 2020 Chevy Corvette. The reason why they're asking for that is that most people think it's still worth that, but a lot of them is because that's what they owe. Now, you can go to some of these franchise stores and I see them for $80,000, not like over MSRP plus, at MSRP. Some of them were considered used, like people bought them, didn't want them, had to give them back to the dealership, and now they're selling them for whatever MSRP is. So that market is slowly dwindling. But I still see people charging $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 over MSRP for C8 Corvettes. So I'm here to tell you right now, if you're looking at buying a Corvette, do not pay over MSRP. There are tons of these things in the used market sector. This is another reason why I decided not to get a C8 Corvette, is because everybody and their grandma jumped on this bandwagon and now you see them everywhere. And something that was very fun, exotic looking, and kind of a unique car, I feel is going to be like the next version of the Dodge Charger. Everybody's going to see it everywhere, like these other Dodge Challengers, Mustangs, stuff like that. I feel like it's just losing its status. So don't pay over for one of these cars. Now, when it comes to the Z06, I know a lot of people are fighting over it. I have a picture here. Somebody's trying to sell one here in Vegas for $180,000. Now, like I said, the market is slowing down. Banks are not going to finance over MSRP anymore unless you have an amazing credit score, and they still have 1 or 2 banks that'll do it, probably captive lenders. So I highly recommend just waiting. Don't buy into the FOMO, the fear of missing out. It's okay. I promise you, there's going to be tons of these things because, like I said, I know multiple dealers that are telling me people are walking away from their allocations and record numbers. Now, if you go to any Ford, Chevy, Honda, Toyota dealership and you see trucks and SUVs there and you wonder why there's so many, 90% of those are people that walked away from their allocations because they didn't want to pay $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over MSRP because there's so many of them now. And this is the funny thing is there's people that are still paying over MSRP for some of these cars, which I don't understand, mostly F-150s, when you can literally walk into Vegas here or any of these other towns in California, East Coast, and there's tons of these things sitting on the lot. You watch my channel, I'm sure you watch a few of the other automotive YouTubers channels. These guys actually walk the lots and show you how many cars there are. I don't have to tell you, I just tell people to drive down the street and you're gonna see all these cars. The demand is simply not there. The need to overpay for cars is over. That shit is done. Now, some of these ass clown dealers still say, oh, well, I got to sell it for way over MSRP because the market is hot. And I keep telling the same dealers, and this is how I actually talk to some of the dealers. I tell them, why in the hell is somebody going to pay $10,000 over MSRP for your truck when they can go 2 blocks down the street and buy something for at MSRP or probably below? Because I know Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge is actually giving a lot of incentives as well as Ford. And what he said really blew me away, and I hate to say it, it's true. I asked him, I was like, why? And he said, because consumers are dumb. They will not drive the extra 2 miles to save a few bucks. He goes, we have people that will come in, they'll haggle us, we'll give them $3,000, $4,000 off that $10,000 thing, and they'll say okay, and they'll hook them on the deal. So now they're getting all the money plus some, and they're selling the car to one of their captive lenders, so this way they can get $4,000 or $5,000 on the back end for warranties or whatever else gap, and it blew my mind. So just to let you know, this is the way dealers think. They know that literally every time one person says that's too much, I'm going somewhere else, there's probably 2 other knuckleheads right behind them that's gonna be like, how much can I get it for? 10 grand over MSRP. Can you do 5,000 over MSRP? Okay, we'll do it. Oh yeah, I talked the dealer down, I got a good deal. And the whole meanwhile, they're literally screwing you with $5,000 over MSRP. Now, I'm gonna tell you this right now. When it comes to trucks, SUVs, and sports cars, take your time, talk to multiple dealers. I don't care if you got to go out of state. Remember, I just purchased a car. I flew all the way to Portland, Oregon to save $20,000. Now, if you don't feel like driving 2-3 hours to save a few $1,000s, you must be rich. And if that's the case, that's fine. You don't have to. But I'm tired of these people complaining that they can't find a good deal. They feel like their local dealers are ripping them off. And it's like, they probably are. Just drive down the street, drive out of town, drive one state over. A lot of times, just a little bit of the market change is completely different. Now, you drive down here in Vegas, you go to any Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler dealership, it's full of Jeeps, full of Ram trucks, full of all kinds of stuff. So you could literally have your pick of the litter when it comes to those things. Our Ford stores packed to the gills with trucks. Now, if you want a Mustang Shelby, unfortunately, you're going to have to fight for one of those. But if you want a regular Mustang, a Bronco, and for some reason, like I finally got a call from a dealership here in Vegas willing to offer me a Bronco at MSRP. If you've been watching my channel for a while, I tried to buy one of these things 5 times, and I tried to buy it locally. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, and I have never bought a single car from here, which is embarrassing because none of these dealers want to work with anybody. All they care about is just give me the money. They don't want relationships. They don't want, well, I may not make as much money on this guy, but I'll make it up in service. He'll tell his friends about me. No, the good old days of building that relationship are gone. These ass clowns, all they want is your money. Give me your money, screw you in the ass, and then kick you out the door. And that is it, unfortunately. So a lot of this stuff is changing. Now, after I got that call for that Bronco, I went down there, looked at a few, and I'm talking maybe 7 to 10 cars they had up front, and they had another truckload of them being dropped off in the back. So don't let these people believe that, oh, you can't get them, they're super rare, they're hard to get. Bullshit. I'm so sick of this like fear of missing out. Like they're still trying to prop up the new car market and the used car market by telling you that the supply is not there. I promise you, do me a favor. When you look at the cars in the front, if your dealership only has a few, just drive around to the back. Guarantee you there's a handful of them sitting back there somewhere. So just start being more aggressive when it comes to your buying your deals. And just remember that, like I said, people are walking away from allocations and record numbers. Now, I put an order in for a Lamborghini Technica like almost a year ago, and I would think I was number 60th on the list. But fast forward, I think 2 months later, I was up to number 10. So it's amazing how fast people are pulling their money out and walking away. And the days of people buying their allocations, holding them, and then selling them right after they buy them is over. And I know a lot of these people that are out there, that's exactly what they did. So this is why I'm telling you guys, don't be so excited to go buy something, especially if it's a Corvette, F-150, definitely not a Ford Lightning. If you bought a Ford Lightning way over MSRP, you are so screwed right now. I know half of them are basically failing because the batteries suck, and the other half people are giving them away because they can't get rid of them. So I think I saw 2 of them here at the Ford dealership that they just traded in with both under 1,000 miles. People realizing they're probably going to be junk. But these are some of the things that people, like I said, overhyped for, overpaid for, bought the allocation, and now they're trying to resell it. I'm telling you right now, if you have any allocations, just either let them go, get your money back, or just sell them back to the dealership if they'll give you a few bucks, because it's not worth it. Because these pictures, the ones I showed you of the guy paying, $180,000 for a Corvette, now he's just trying to get rid of it. Nobody's going to give him 180 grand for that Z06. He's going to be sitting on that shit forever. And I guarantee you, when he starts making those monthly payments, it's going to drive him nuts. And eventually, he's probably going to get rid of it for at MSRP. But probably more than likely, he financed the total $180,000 amount. So I wish the best to you guys. If you guys have any questions, please put in the comment section below. I love to hear your opinion. Even if your opinion is different from mine, that's okay. We could still be friends. But it's your opinion that matters, because as we give out information on this channel, we want to share this with other people. So if you know a great dealer in your area that's selling cars at MSRP, please put them down. If you've dealt with a few dealers and they're charging you way over MSRP and they don't want to work with you, also put them down so other people know to stay away from these guys. But like I said, please put as much information as you can down below, and we'll see you next video.